So normally when this device powers down, it'll save whatever I'm working on in terms of a video, right? So it dies, and it didn't save it. So unfortunately, you don't get to see the curses that you know, they were saying to me that I can't now recall. Okay, like, so that's the stuff I be putting in these videos that is important because it aligns with, you know, how events unfold. But I had talked about the day all the way up until now. Okay, almost. I was almost done with that vlog. And in it, I was talking about how it was a prior. You can imagine I made my food during that video, and a couple of other things. I'm going to start from the beginning. Today is the 11th of June, and I'm going to pick up with this after I finish eating. He said that if I let them take me everywhere that I need to go, then they won't look at things the wrong way. Something that happened. I did throw my napkin with all my hair in it away, so that's something I'm not going to be able to redo. Just thinking of the elements. I was, after putting Drano in the sink, I carried it, but I put it on camera and I showed how much they've been tearing out, and I mentioned that they keep talking about alopecia to me. Seems really dark, right? Look how much light is on. I also mentioned the element. They're over there gargling. They're like gargling in the wall, like they're having conversation in pipes. So you can hear it burping and stuff like that. And this is before the Drano situation. Like, I should have mentioned it in the order that I was going to, but I just ended up referencing it. But listen, real quick. Matter of fact, let me put, I'm going to put it near. That's something that hadn't been taking place. That's taking place now. And it alarmed me when I came. Oh, it's starting to thunder. Yay. Ooh, it's real rain. Saying you already know. Something else. Okay, so when I showed that of my hair, I was saying, you know, like, they're still tearing it out, like, or they went back to tearing it out because it was quite a bit, okay? And I was saying that you can imagine that they're using ringworm to justify that sort of attack now. They say he's gonna Lindsay Lohan me for not being in the same headspace. After saying he was in a different headspace. And that'll make sense to you after I tell you what happened. Okay, so let me attempt to try to finish talking about the day. Before I just got out of the shower. I tried to get some like cool air, because you know what they doing with the AC. It's on 68 and nothing. So yeah, it ain't even a breeze out there. But I'm gonna attempt to finish this story before I start working on my assignment. that's due tomorrow. So I leave the hotel, no problem there. I go catch the bus. Buses run funny on Sunday. I get off. I go to Dollar General. I mean, not Dollar General. I go to Dollar Tree on West Market Street. Hold up, they're attacking me. Backing up. Okay, so like there was no sleep. Okay, so by the time they allowed me to doze, I look at the time and it's like 9 a.m. and trying to avoid the housekeepers coming and disturbing me, I hurry up, throw on some clothes, and I rush down to the desk and I pay for another night, which I wasn't supposed to be doing. Like Sunday tonight, the end of these 8 weeks was supposed to be my last night here. But obviously, you know, more things didn't go as planned, and you know I'm exhausted. So rather than be aggressive about it, you know, and there was like a dialogue, I'm going to get into all that. Rather than be aggressive about it, decided to take, you know, like just chill. I go to the Dollar Tree. You know, while in there, like the cashier, she gets a little aggravated with me and the white female, like about which one of us was going to go first. You know, but that was nothing. She immediately, you know, like got it together. But in the past, they've done things with her also. They refer to her, that's another female that they call Saya. It's just some bullshit, okay? So I get what I went for, and I left. And I was saying, like, it's a issue. Like here lately, when I go to the Dollar Tree, I cannot not spend $20. And normally I stay in about the $12-13 range. But I suppose, like, with me being, like, you know, away from home, like, and not having certain things available, it causes for me to need a little bit more. But I noticed that I'm like, every time, the last 2-3 times I've come here, it's $20. So I leave, and it's raining, and I stand in the rain for a little bit, and then I stand under these trees, and I cross. I'm waiting for the bus to come the opposite way or whatever. And okay, I want to talk about this because this is what I said in the last video. Let me sit up. Okay, so what I said is, I hate that you can't see me. Let me turn this light on. Maybe I hate even touching this. Shit, there's so much horrible things taking place and going on. Okay, so look, It's all go. And I'm in the rain, and I'm on one side, the opposite side, waiting on the bus is going in the opposite direction. And so I finally cross the street because I think it's about near. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I don't have the time, you know. So I have no way of knowing. I'm just kind of going by feeling or whatever. And what I said in the last video, I was like, ask yourself this, because if I weren't me and this question was presented about the type of stuff that I'm disclosing, I'd be like, this is insane. So the question is, why haven't you bought a watch? Okay. If I weren't me, I would think that the individual disclosing this information hasn't bought a watch because every time she's at a store, she can't access the thought. Like, it never comes to mind. They won't allow it to come to mind. And by the time that it does, she's too far away. That's what I'd say. Because, you know, I've been paying attention. So I, the individual who had no recollection of remote neural monitoring, now I know what that is. Okay, and now I know that her thoughts are being blocked, and her thought processes are being interfered with. You know, so I would be like, that's got to be why she doesn't have a watch. It was some other stuff I said, but I'm gonna leave it at that. So I have no way of knowing. We're just going by feeling it. So I cross a tree and I end up getting up under another tree, and I'm cleaning my feet. I have on flip-flops, It's raining, and they're kicking shit up on the back of my feet. But they weren't putting thorns in the bottom of my flip flop this time, so that's a plus. I had Nate. It was like after 7 p.m. when I finally ate today. And this is all over no sleep. And like I told you, by the time I went to sleep, it was at an inappropriate hour, and I only got 2 hours. And then I had to get up and I had to get ready. Last night I washed my hair, so today I had to flat iron it before I left in order for it not to set trip. And it was raining. I get out there, I flat iron my hair. I knew it was raining today. I'm looking forward to the rain. You know, I'm always looking forward to the rain. And I get out there knowing I have no umbrella. It's just like one of those things, no fucks were given. And I come back, and all I had to do was blow dry my hair. Well, that's not really it. I still will probably have to flat iron it again. But they're tearing it up, and they're using this ringworm to justify the attacks they're making on it now. So look, y'all, I'm on the other side, and after I clean my feet, they get mad about me cleaning my feet. And they get mad about me not taking the bus in the wrong direction. I just saw the bus, and I'm like, no, I didn't need a bus. And every time some shit like that happens, I should have known something like this was happening before I even crossed the street. I should have checked, because that's the type of shit that happens to me. So I get done cleaning my feet, and I reach in my back pocket where my money is supposed to be, and I have like $500 cash on me and my ID, Oklahoma driver's license. And it's gone. And I reach in the other pocket, and I'm like, no, why did y'all do that? Like, you can't be fucking serious. Y'all are so fucking evil. I tell them how evil they are. And then I'm like, what in the fuck did you do with it? And so I like go back across the street, and I retrace my steps. So right away I see my hotel room key, and I'm like, but where's everything else? And this is like, the distance between the two is like probably 15-20 feet. Okay. And with my cash and my driver's license, they simulated somebody getting mad and throwing it. Like, they threw it all the way off. It ain't even on the concrete. It's not on the walkway. It's not on the sidewalk. It's like off. Like, and it's like there's no way it could have happened. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just, the shit made no sense. They simulated throwing it. And so it's all wet. I pick it up. Everything's there. I pick it up, and I put it in my backpack now and not my back pocket, because obviously it's wet. And I go back, and I wait for the bus, and the bus is coming by now. I get on the bus. I get off. Am I missing anything in between here? While I was at the Dollar Tree, they were talking about I wouldn't get them any supplies. They kept saying that all the stuff that they're used to having, all the things that I normally get, that I wouldn't get. So they were referring to paper towels and like styrofoam cups and things of that nature. You know, like just stuff that I would normally keep around for convenience. Well, not even that. Just things that I would normally have at my place. This is not my motherfucking place. But you know what? So I wasn't having it with them. And so, like I said, today it's supposed to be a jail day. And I'm like, you know, when I come back after I eat, that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, they said something smart to me. And I'm like, what do y'all want to bet? And I'm like, what do y'all want to bet? And they pretty much was like wanting to see what I would come up with. And I'm like, so all my DNA that y'all owe me for, no, they said the resources of Satan. And I was like, okay, the resources of Satan for all my DNA that y'all owe me. You know, like for y'all to pretty much get off of my DNA and let my full expression show. And that's what the wagers were. And I walk a couple feet and turn around and back, and I'm like, deal. Like, You gotta bet. That's what it's gonna be. Or whatever. Right away they lost their motherfucking mind. Like it was okay. And this is like also like this is all before I realized my money and shit is missing. And you know that, and like I said, for a little bit, about 10 minutes, you know, like while I'm in the middle of cleaning my feet and stuff, they're like, you know, back and forth and with each other. And in that moment, it was like, well, now we ain't got no way of hiding from what we already knew she'd do. So this they were like pretty much the way that they were trying to go about not making today go as I planned it didn't go as planned. And so they were like, we want to renege. And I'm like, no, I'm like, so what do I get for y'all reneging? Like, for letting you out of it. Like, if I let you out this bet, what do I get? And that went on like till I got to Acme. I got on the bus and now I'm off the bus. And I told them, I'm like, pause, because, you know, and they went on about how I knew that they continued to talk and act like they were establishing things that they weren't establishing. And so I get off and I go to Acme and I'm talking about they still ain't answered the damn question. Did y'all ever answer the question? They said that they were going to be, they said something, it ain't coming to mind, and she trying to play about saying it. So I go to Acme and I come out, and like I said, it's still raining. And I'm trying to tug on the tree, but this tree is dripping. Like, and I'm dripping. And I got to get more paper towels out of my book bag and try to, like, you know, keep my face. Because a combination of the two, my face was constantly wet and dripping. And like now the back of my hair is dripping. So I finally go to the bus stop and I'm waiting on the bus. And while I'm waiting on the bus, I'm like, you know, I could have, this is the same route, mind you, I take on foot. Like, I normally walk this route, but because it's raining and I'm pretty fucking uncomfortable, like, you know, not even in clothes and stuff, because they kept talking about that, like, about how good I smell, you know, and not smelling like, you know, like, they were talking about the effects of how clean I get and how I'm able to stand in the rain, and that people were noticing that I'm able to stand in the rain and not stink, you know what I'm saying, like, not have a bad effect. But I'm feeling uncomfortable, like, just about, like, I have my book bag, and my book bag's heavy from the shit I got at the Dollar Tree, and now I have this bag in my hand. You know, I got a 2-bag mask, but both of these motherfucking bags is light heavy, and I got on flip-flops, and the flip-flop is poking into my foot. The left flip-flop is poking into my foot, like, into my arch. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait on the bus and have the bus cross me the street instead of trying to, you know, cross the street with all this traffic and stuff, like, shit I just don't want to deal with. And so I take the bus when it comes, and I go around Hollythorn, and they were talking about how they were going to have to compromise this hotel because they were trying to cook more in it, like, in these places, and they were talking about pretty much cooking in the microwaves. Saying, like, you know, they simulated what I would do if under certain circumstances, and that's what they were doing in a bunch of these places. So they're talking about cooking, and when I left, it smelled like food, and I'm like, who the fuck is doing that? You know, like, just stinking up my room, like it's coming all in my fucking room. And I come back and it smelled like I done it. you know, like, and this all it snowballed from me making noodles a couple nights ago, but it wasn't ramen. It was like those pack of Knorr's noodles, and you could smell them like they were cooked on the stove. So anyhow, they were like, yeah, now we got people acting like like she's at the extended stay, and she about to ride by the extended stay, and they gonna know that that ain't where she at, because she gonna ride by it on the bus and all this other stuff, you know. Like, they were just talking about all the lies that they told that would be compromised from me riding on the bus and taking that route. And they were talking about how they needed somebody to be in place to pretty much intercept this information. So I get off the bus stop at the get-go, which is where I normally cut through to go walk to the hotel. And when I get off the bus, here's the hotel manager, is VJ. You know, he and I haven't been talking again, and it's weird because, like, there were 3 days at the beginning of the month, and it was claim all that activity, and then it was like this money thing again, you know, like, and I feel like that's what they were trying to cover down on top of a couple of other things that were taking place, you know, like diversity keeps coming up because I'm taking culture and diversity a course right now, like psychology course. That's what is on culture and diversity. And every time, you know, they get desperate about trying to claim my behavior or misapply the behavior, claim it's not me that's having it. You know, they act like they're having an encounter with me, but they call me someone else. So, Donnie show up. He's in the car, and I smiled beforehand because I knew it was him. Like, I looked back and I smiled, but I kept going. And he stops and he says, "Do you want to ride?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so I put my bags in the back seat. He's like, "No, get in the front." I was like, "I am just putting the bags back here." So I get in, and he tells me about the meditation event that's coming up again, the yoga event. And we go. He goes into it a little bit more detail. He told me, he said, if you're gonna be here, I told you I want you to come. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I'll definitely go if I'm here. And he was talking about how they want to expand. He was like, you know, he was like, I was hoping that, you know, you could kind of help us bring in more African Americans that might be interested. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. But look, let me tell you something. I'm not going to go into that yet. Hold on. So, every time it's ever come up in the past, because it's come up on 2 separate occasions in the past, like, you know, this is the same guy that he just went to Philly to see. And now the guy is coming here for an event in Independence. And I told him today or whatever, I was like, yeah, I was like, I used to do meditation a little bit. And I was like, I started, I told him, I mentioned Sahaji, and wow, now they just tore the name up. I got it. I said it with no problem the first time. Miharishi, I think it is. And and he goes insane when he hears his name, because he's like familiar. I guess he's a big one to them. And he was saying that, you know, they go back, like him and he was saying that his knowledge of the guy and that guy and this guy that he was interested in go back about 15 years or whatever. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, you know, I practiced both types of meditation for some time. And I was like, but that was like over a decade ago. And I was like, I started in Georgia with the Sahaji thing, and then I was like, once I got here to Ohio, you know, we used to do some energy type stuff and blah blah blah, and then I cut it short because it's really not an interest. I'm not interested in that shit in no way no more. And but I don't want to be, that doesn't mean I have to be rude to him, even though I know who he is and that he's trying to, snake me and all kind of shit. Even though I know all that, it's like that's where that knowing of the covert shit that's taking place, that is always being acted out. Like one day you cool with me, the next day you ain't, type thing. Like that's where that covert shit, me knowing about it, and not being able to really address it without compromising my own what's the word? They're taking all the words. I hope you can figure that out because it just would be. Anyways, the title of the event is 6 cents. 6 TH cents. And I was like, wow, how ironic. And it's taking place on my birthday. I was like, yeah, no, that shit definitely ain't gonna happen. Like, y'all be talking about me, watching me on my birthday. So, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, like, if you run into, like, any financial situation, he was telling me about the tickets or whatever. And he was like, if you run into financial, he was like, let me know. He was like, I'll get your ticket or whatever. He was like, I'll help or whatever. So, like, sometimes he's like, it's like they put a team in there that's like is willing to be like helpful. And I'm telling you, y'all, when it's time, when the going gets tough and they need this type of encounter to take place, that other motherfucking demon get gone. He can't do it. He hates me that motherfucking much. He can't stand there and like even pull off this type of dialogue. So, and as soon as this type of dialogue takes place, it'll be like another day or two, like pretty much of me being like just not having anything to do with it, before it leaves, and then it puts the mean thing back. That only is cordial because it knows, like, you know what I'm saying, like that type of thing, but it be digging too. So anyways, I hope they don't get rid of this video. I almost want to stop it right now just to make sure I'm gonna stop it.